Flosstube friends. This is Valerie stitching in the barn, and I am saying to you happy Passover and happy Easter this weekend. Today is Saturday, but I have a little treat for you because yesterday I went to visit my friend Kay again. So many of you had requested that I go back and look in some more detail at some of Kay's samplers. So what we did was we picked some of Kay's favorites and also ones that we knew a lot of people had commented on, and we tried to go into them in more detail. So I hope you enjoy that. She's really a good sport to put up with me coming over and doing that to her all the time, but she's very appreciative of all the comments. I told her about all the nice things you'd said. And she also is saying, you know, they are having to leave their house next year. They're going to downsize, and so they are selling redware, and she is going to sell some samplers. So if you are interested, I've got her contact information below. You can reach her through their business is Shakespeare's Peddler. You know, I've got cross-stitch on the brain. Springhouse Peddler is the name of their redware company that they had for many years. And her phone number I will list below as well. And she doesn't mind you calling, asking her questions, whatever. I think a number of you have already reached out to her on various inquiries. So she was totally happy with that. So if you want to contact her for any reason, you know, if you're interested in some redware, she will send you photographs. You know, and if there's any sampler or some sort of pattern you're looking for that you think she has or might want to sell, you can call her about that too. Someone else had asked, or several of you asked about, where am I? That, which I looked it up. That is an old Jeremiah Junction pattern. It was from the April 2004 Cross Country Stitching magazine, which Jeremiah Junction used to put out. I don't know if you can still find it. I have a copy which is in terrible, terrible shape because I did not in those days, I don't think I had a computer even, and I didn't make copies of my patterns. I just used them and carried them around in the car and whatever, threw them in the back of a bag, and you know, it's pretty much in shreds. Otherwise I'd volunteer to let somebody borrow it, but if I can get my hands on another copy, because actually Jeremiah Junction, interestingly enough, was published very close to my house, so sometimes you could find old copies of that magazine floating around, the Cross Country Stitcher. And if I can find one, I'll get in touch with the people that asked. But anyway, that's what that pattern is. It's like a fractor welcome thing. I'm so articulate. I want to announce the winner of the pattern that I'm giving away. And I made a mistake. The pattern was actually donated by, that particular pattern was donated by Lila Umstead of Lila's Designs. Cross Stitch has donated a similar but slightly different pattern, which you'll be seeing in the next couple weeks. But I did want to say that the winner of that pattern was Deborah, and I do not know how to pronounce your last name. It's S-Z-W-E-D. Schwed. Swed. Something like that. I'm sorry. Please contact me within the week, or I will have to do that random comment generator again. There were 169 of you commenting, and I have a whole wonderful list of questions for Carolyn and other shop owners if I ever get to interview any others. All kinds of fascinating things, which I want to know the answers to as well, so I am eager to be off on that journey. So I will compile all your questions and see if I can get some answers for you. And in the meantime, I hope you're all having a great week. I was going to do another giveaway this week, but I don't have my goodies with me, and I'm too lazy to go get them. I've got a lot of stuff to do to get ready for tomorrow. You know, the Easter Bunny has much work to do, and I have to help him out. So even though my youngest child's 18, I'm going to have dinner here for everybody and a certain amount of festivities. So I will do a video soon. I will have another giveaway for you then, and I think I will show you my mania plans, which, shoot me now. I'm going to attempt to do a starter day for the month of May. Last year I fizzled completely. I think I had never heard of Mania before, Stitch Mania, and I thought, ooh, what a fun idea, and I leapt in, and of course I hadn't done any prep work. I didn't have things kitted, and I hadn't, you know, thought about things and made decisions, and so I did about 2 or 3 things and then kind of stopped. But this year I've been gathering my supplies and plotting a little bit in my head, and I think I'm going to try one a day. Why not? And then I'll just have a bunch of whips to work through for the rest of the year. So that should be my next video, which I'll do soon. And congratulations to Deborah. And thank you, everybody, for all your nice comments about Carolyn and her shop. So here we go, off to Kay's. Hello, Flosstube. I am with my friend Kay in her beautiful house, and you'll be thrilled to know that we are doing Samplers Revisited this time. So, so many of you were enchanted by all her beautiful work and had lots of questions for her, so we are going to do another round of question and answers. And I thought the way I would start, well, first I should say Happy Easter to everybody coming up this Sunday, and Happy Passover if you celebrate that, because it is Friday, the 19th of April. Thank you. And you are watching Stitching in the Barn. Some other questions we had were about just logistics of how you actually do your stitching. So the first one, someone wanted to know, how do you manage all the fabric as you're stitching? She saw that you have that small hoop that you just move around to different places, but she wanted to know how you manage all the excess fabric.
If there's really a lot of excess fabric, I'll get a rubber band and just stuff the linen in the rubber band. I am not a neat freak when it comes to getting the job done.
Okay. Just whatever works.
Just whatever works. I know when you get to the left side of the sampler, it's very easy to work. But on the right side, it's easy to work. But the left side, you've got a lot of fabric over here. Mm-hmm. The same thing with top and bottom. Most times, I just roll it up. Okay. You know, I just mush it up. I don't even roll it on anything. Because when I frame the samplers, I pull them so tight. I don't iron or anything. They're just really pulled tight.
Oh, you don't iron?
No, you're not supposed to, because that compresses your floss to the fabric.
Well, people always say if you put big fluffy towels down, you think still it compresses the stitches. I don't do an
iron. No, I just stretch the heck out of it.
Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting, because people even, you know, we're not doing museum quality samplers. We're just making little pillows for decorations and stuff. But, you know, we'll spray starch and iron it or whatever. No, you never do that.
Now, maybe if I was going to make a pillow, though it isn't stretched that tightly because you want it loose and fluffy, maybe then I would iron. I did an Afghan a number of years ago, and the Afghan, the fabric itself had like squares on it, and I did different flower scenes on the Afghan. Then I did some pillows that my sister still uses. I think it was on Aida or Hardanger. Probably then I did iron it before I made the pillow.
But for your traditional samplers, you just stretch them tight. And we were just talking, you use acid-free foam core board, but very stiff foam core board that you buy from an art supply place.
All foam core board is stiff. You know, even if you buy the not sort of acid-free, it's not floppy at all. It's rigid.
Okay.
So the foam core, the acid-free foam core, works really well now to use. So we do all acid-free.
And then Kay has the pins that she uses. She uses some little T-pins to pin into the foam core board.
And the double-sided tape.
And I have a photograph I'm going to insert of the brand of double-sided, acid-free double-sided tape that she also buys from Dick Blick at the... art supply store, or any large art supply store probably would carry.
Or an
acid for
archival
things.
store. I get a catalog from archival places.
Okay, interesting. Like some sort of framing.
If I can find it in it might be in the basket in the dining room. I can find out, because they'll carry it too. The double-sided.
Let's show one of the pins up close, because that's sort of interesting to me that that's the type that you find works well. When I say T-shape, I mean, I don't know if you can see.
Maybe we should hold it up against something, maybe, if you do it
that's
this
a good
way.
idea. It's got a little lip on it.
Yeah.
You can see.
A little bend over part.
Yeah, it's not a T like that.
You could use the T, but that only has the one prong going into the foam core.
Right, whereas this holds very nicely, and they're so fine, they probably slip in very nicely.
Yeah.
Seal those up before we have pins all over your sofa. Okay, needles. Favorite size?
28 gauge.
Now, I've just given her some petites to try, so that'll be something new, because you stitch in hand. You don't use a frame. I mean, you have a little round frame, but you don't have a stand of any kind.
No, I tried that. I tried it recently.
I just gave her some to try, because she said she'd never tried the petites. But normally your favorite are the French Bowen.
Yes.
Size
and I
28.
said before, I get them from Scarlet Letter now is charging 20 cents each. So I had a friend ordering from Scarlet Letter, and I said, get me 100 needles. So she did that. I do like those, because eventually the eye will break.
Yes, something happens.
Sometimes I'm working on top of the fabric, and then the needle will get a curve in it also. So I got 100. I just got 100.
Do you do the sewing method, where you're not pulling from the back and pulling from the top? You're just
I'm trying,
sewing.
but on the 46 count, it's so small that it doesn't want to do that. And I guess the friction between the threads of the linen and the DMC that I use will fray it easier if I do it on the top. So sometimes I have to pull it all the way through, which is a nuisance. And then if you do over one thread, that's exactly the way you have to do the whole sampler.
Yeah.
You can't work it from the top.
Right. Your days are light. We probably should take a picture of that, and I'll insert that. But that's your favorite. It's magnifying and light.
Yes, it's a round, circular, fluorescent light. And then the Dazer lamp itself has a magnification within that part. And then what I do, I have an adapter lens underneath that looks kind of like a tripod, kind of like that. And that is another 3-point magnification. So on a 46 count, it looks like you're doing a 19 count or something. They're huge.
That's great.
Yeah.
And the adapter was something you bought separately?
Yeah, I've had them for a number of years, and I think now if you go onto the Dazzler.com, they sell it, and it's $60. I got mine for $25. I look on eBay to see whether they have the adapter. I also look to see if they have the Dazer lamps. And some people, too, if you're looking for one at a bargain, because these things are very expensive, some people don't realize that they're Dazer, so they put just a magnifying lamp. I've done that, too. There was a woman out in Lancaster County on Facebook Marketplace that was selling a lamp with the base for $32. So I contacted her and said, is it a Dazer or Dazzler? And she said, yeah, you're the first person who knew what it was. I said, well, I'm a stitcher. And
I would like to have it, please.
Yeah, I said, I'm coming. My daughter and I are coming over right away. So, yeah, I only paid full price for my first one. And that was 40-some years ago.
And then you realized it was worth trying to find other ones, but you didn't.
And as we go in the living room, I've got 2 laying on the couch in there.
Okay, so we could show them then.
I just, because the wiring breaks down, too. You can only pull them so many times, and then the metal wears out or something.
And then do you have to chuck them, or do you get, you have to get them.
I have a base. I had a solid base. These things are, the solid base that has a 20-pound weight in the base to keep it, from falling on your lap when you're doing it. Well, when I went to move it, I picked it up, and the pole part that holds the magnification part fell out of the base. So now I bought on eBay, I found somebody was selling the roller base.
Oh,
so
nice.
Now I've got the roller base.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And you can just move it where you need it.
And I do, really, every night.
As you stitch, I think we talked about this when I first interviewed you, but you are quite systematic. Like you'll start in the left and you will go across, and you don't leap around because Because it's too easy to make mistakes, I think you said.
Yeah, I just go across the top once, and then, you know, you're bored of doing that, so then I'll skip to the interior, the first part of the interior of the sampler. Then I still don't want to, if I have to, I'll have to go down the left side to get my spacing for the next.
Do you always start with the border? Some people always start
yeah,
with
I have to start with the border up top.
Give you reference points.
And then I'll jump from there to some of the center parts. And then I'll pick up the borders later. I make mistakes, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't correct them. Unless they're, you know, when you have multiple sheets of paper and the design on this sheet of paper looks the same as the design on that.
Yeah, then you gotta fix it.
Yeah.
Someone wanted to know your thought process as you choose a project. Like, how do you select the next thing you're going to do?
Well, when I talked to you the last time, I was working on a sampler that was all yellows and greens. So right now I'm working on a sampler that's red and pink because I'm tired of working yellow and green.
Yes.
I do like houses. I seem to like the pictures. Every company that does reproduction samplers will probably give you a picture of the original. I love that. When I'm working on it, of course, when it's reproduced, it doesn't look like that. But I just go by the pictures.
You sort of like keeping that in mind.
Now, the two over my bed in the bedroom, I did one big one. And I knew that I needed a second big one. So I went through my stash of charts to find out what would be the same size.
Yeah.
That one I did methodically.
And they do look very nice together.
Yeah, they do. There's hardly any difference in the size of the samplers.
Yeah.
I just pick out the picture that I like.
And you had spoken one time about what it all kind of means to you. Like you said, you kind of felt like it was a way of leaving a mark.
Oh, it is.
Like,
yeah.
Like stitching all these samplers.
I'm the type of person that I can't read. I don't like reading because I fall asleep. I never have been a reader because it makes me tired. But in my thought process, I want to have something that I can show for my time that I've been alive. I don't do anything with my mind. I'm not brilliant, but I have to have something to do with my hands. And I'll work on my redware during the day, but at nighttime I'll come in and I'll stitch, because if I just sit here, I feel that I'm wasting time. And I don't want to waste my time. And I'll leave something for anybody, my family members or someone who likes my work and wants to buy them, something to show that I was here at that period of time. And I think, you know, it's the same thing when back in the 17 and 1800s, when the little girls were taught needlework. They wanted to show, the mother and father wanted to show how educated their daughter was.
Yes.
And they were only educated in needlework. They weren't educated in reading, writing, or arithmetic or English back then. The girls were not. So I just feel that I have to have something to show for every minute. That's what I do. I just drive myself to the limits.
It's kept you going for how many years you've been stitching samplers?
I started in the 70s.
So a number of years.
Yeah, too many years.
It's been good inspiration.
But I love it. I love the art. I love the history that goes with it. I appreciate what the children did back then when they had no good lights. They had no magnification.
Yeah, right.
And they turned out these beautiful samplers.
Yeah, fantastic.
So I just appreciate everything that they did.
Yeah, very much so.
And I have a family who recognizes that they love the pieces that I've done.
That's so nice. Kay, I think I showed you last time, and we're going to be delving into her book where she's written down all the different ones she's done and notes about them. She's just told me today that she's actually making duplicate books for both of her children so that they will also have a record, like all the different samplers, what she was, you know, what was the inspiration and who was it by and when did she stitch it, and that, I think that will make it even more meaningful for them. Yeah, because they have the history anyway. The history's on the back of each and every sampler. The number is also there. The date that I finished it is there. Excuse me, and the count of the linen. And some of the stitches that were used. And that's so good too, because then people like us come along and they're like, well, what linen was this and what stitch was that, you know? So that's very helpful. And the last, from the sublime thoughts of, you know, posterity to organizational thoughts. We tucked them away in this beautiful chest again that Bob made, but I did take photographs, which I will insert, of how Kay stores her floss, and we thought that might be interesting for you to see. Like, all her linen is in this beautiful chest that Bob made, and on top she's got these great big rings with all the DMC in bags, organized by color, not, I mean, each bag has a number written on it, but all the greens are together, all the blues are together, all the reds are together, and she says she can find things quickly that way.
Again.
And you also said most of the charts you stitch are produced by similar people, and so they're using a similar color palette.
Right. There's certain colors that are used.
So I thought that was interesting and fun. All right. Well, I guess we'll start looking at some samplers and going into detail. If we were to go chronologically, Kay is telling me that a lot of her early samplers she's given away to people, or I guess you've sold a few and you don't have them anymore.
No.
And they were, your initial ones you said were probably Aida or
Hardanger. Yeah, I started with that, just like because linen is hard to find. Linen, you can't, well, now Michael's, I think, does carry little pieces of linen.
But in the old days, it was harder to find.
It was hard. You did Aida or you did Hardanger.
And so as you got to love and appreciate linen, you sort of let some of those go.
Right.
Okay. We thought we'd start with one that was so fascinating. It's by the Scarlet Letter, and it's the Mary Bailey 1818 sampler. So what can you tell us about this one, Kay?
I find this one very fascinating. For one thing, you asked me what I like. Look at that beautiful house with the fence. The fence is very detailed, though. It's over one thread.
Wow.
The rest of the sampler is probably mostly over two threads, but I know that fence, I thought I'd never get rid of it. And then what appealed to me, I love checkerboards, and these are little black musicians who claim that they're playing violins. That's what it says on the back. But obviously they're playing saws, which sound like violins. I just love the whole thing about it.
Yeah, and the colors.
The colors are vibrant, and the house is stunning, and then you have these two little black-faced guys in checkerboard. Looks like pajamas.
Yeah, it does a little bit
like pajamas. Look like pajamas.
Well, we looked this up, and we could not find the Scarlet House website.
Scarlet Letter.
Scarlet Letter website. But we did see it was available on Traditional Stitches. So
yeah, and it's called Mary Bailey.
So this pattern is still available. Now, what does your information tell you about this? Like what?
We'll turn it around, and you can see. This is the story of Mary Bailey. It is Scarlet Letter. It says Mary Bailey stitched the sampler in England in 1818. It demonstrates an advanced level of skill given the symmetry of the design, its many diverse elements, a red brick mansion house with 4 chimneys, a sign of wealth back in the 1818s, flying cherubs holding crowns, a suggestion of royal connection. But I don't believe that because a lot of the English samplers will have crowns. And most extraordinary are the black-faced musicians flanking the lower cartouche, holding what appears to be violins, which to me
was the saw. I think you're right about that.
It's DMC on 36 count hand dyed linen over 1 and 2 threads. Stitches are cross petit point and counted satin, framed by us with false graining and gold rope filet. This is number 96, and I finished this sampler in January 2nd, 2015.
Cool.
It's a good size sampler. It's framed. I forget whether it's framed or just the measurement of the sampler. It's 21 by 22 and a half.
It's very handsome. I don't want to do it.
So that's the way I do it. This tape is what they would use in a library. It never yellows, and it's very sticky. And
where do you get that?
You can get it on eBay. It's 3M, I think 3M library tape, and I have one that's 3.5 inches, and then I have another tape that's 4 inches. The problem is, as you can see, trying to get the tape on, because if you touch an area, it doesn't come off.
This is not forgiving tape.
No, it's not forgiving, so it does have a crease in it.
Here we go. Here's another one of Kay's favorites.
This is the Red Brick House sampler. It was in a McCall's magazine back in, oh, I forget even when, but very early, McCall's used to put out a magazine, and this was
a stitching magazine?
You know, I don't even know whether it was stitching.
Because I remember McCall's magazine.
Yeah, it was a tiny magazine. It wasn't much bigger than what this sampler is. And they gave a chart. Now, this is before copy machines would make things larger or reverse.
Right.
And it was stapled. The page, part of the chart was on one page, and then like a magazine, it was stapled, and part of the other chart was on the other page. Unfortunately, I was so new at this that I forgot to count the other side of the page. So this had some kind of verse on it, and I didn't like the verse, so I put an alphabet on it. This is typically English. This is one thread, 32 count, so this is why it's so tiny. And it gave me this side of the grapes, but it didn't give me that side. So I had to reverse it by holding the magazine up to a lampshade.
Oh, no.
Because I had no light box. And then when I got down partway to the bottom, I realized that I did not have enough room for the rest of the sampler. So I did a version. I took out a version, but this grosgrain ribbon around the border is there because I had to add a piece of linen. I was able to stitch
really see that.
on the last thread of the linen. I used fray check, which kept the last thread. It kept
from unraveling.
Yes, from unraveling.
You can just see that there.
So then I put a little piece of linen down there in order to frame it, and it's not pulled tightly because I could not. You see a little pucker right here. But this is the sampler. If anything happens to the house, this is the one that's going to go outside.
This is the one you're going to grab.
This was 32 count over 1. So yeah, this is really, really fine.
That's your favorite.
And it's,
would you say it's your favorite, or
yes?
This is your favorite. This is my favorite.
It was McCall's Treasury of Samplers, so it was a needlework McCall's. House and buildings were popular motifs in the 18th and 19th century samplers. This sampler by young Miss Horton, 9 years old, boasts three imposing mansions and
the two little ones at the bottom
and
the big
smaller buildings, which could have been churches or town landmarks. It's DMC on 32 count linen over 1 thread.
Wow.
I stitched this. I finished it on May 23rd, 1982. It's 9 by 12, so it's small, and it was number 20 of my pieces.
Wow.
This is the back of it.
There it is with all the information.
Yep. I really wrote small back then, too.
You did everything small then.
I forget what that was, but I like that one
like
because
the checkered house one.
The zigzag bottom and the checkered house.
Yes.
We could take that down. This is heavy.
Ooh.
This has restoration glass on it, that's why.
Oh, yes.
That's cute. Who's this one? It has a lot of eyelet stitch.
Eliza Herbert. Oh, yeah.
A lot of eyelet stitch. And then the writing you can barely see because it's done in a white.
Wow.
I don't even know what this...
I like the checkerboard house.
I know, isn't it fun? And I love this, too. And yeah. I really appreciate when they just have a line going around the border. I seem to like... Instead of just the
wavy border.
The vine going thing. This is Amy Eliza Herbert sampler.
Oh, Amy Herbert. Okay.
This was the Porcupine Collection.
From?
This was the Porcupine Collection. They did really... it was a mother-daughter. And they lived in, I think, Durham, North Carolina. and I have several of theirs that I've stitched. They did not do very many charts because they said they usually did bigger charts, and a lot of people didn't want things that big. Oh. And then I also heard that the daughter got sick with MS or something.
Oh, so you don't think they produce any more charts?
No, they're not doing any more charts. I did see a couple Porcupine Collections on eBay, but it wasn't any of the samplers that I've stitched. It was one that I chose not to stitch.
So over the years, who are the samplers mostly that you would say? Porcupine Collection?
Scarlet Letter. Definitely. Letter. I did a lot of the exemplary when they were in business.
Are they not in business?
No, they're gone. She was...
How about the S. Sampler?
She's still active.
And you have some of hers.
I do a lot of hers too.
How about what else?
That's
the Williamsburg. You said some of the things that were Williamsburg collection.
Oh well, the Chase. The things that started me off the Chase and the farm that Paragon did in the 70s.
But they were stamped on.
They were stamped linen, and even Scarlet Letter has one that's stamped.
Oh. I
haven't stitched it, but I did. I have the.
Have you ever done any of those Hands Across the Sea or?
Not that I know of. No. I usually, I really don't want to stitch a sampler that doesn't have history. I don't want to do one that somebody made up.
These I think are all historical ones. I'll have to show them to you.
And sometimes they don't write the history on it. I like it when they put the history. This one.
I'll have to introduce you to them. I think
this was
like them.
From the DAR Museum in Washington, D.C. It gives even the number of the sampler.
Now, do a lot of museums produce samplers?
No, they don't produce them. They let people come in and chart them.
They don't ever, like, a museum in Washington won't produce it itself.
No.
Even though it's on their collection and they can sell it in the gift shop.
Yes, exactly. They'll have someone come in and chart it for them, and then she pays
a fee.
To sell them. And that's the same way with the exemplar in Canada. She is now selling some of the charts, but originally when she charts a new sampler, she has to make X amount of dollars by selling the kit before she can just sell the chart.
Right. So she'll start with a full kit.
Yes.
And then eventually, if you wait, you can usually just get the pattern.
Right. And she has been she just did that. I just got an email last week. This says Amy was born on August the 6th, 1814. The design of her sampler with the large 3-section house is typical of those made in New Jersey around 1825.
Oh, wow. So it's like an American one.
Yeah, cross, 4-sided, outline, eyelet, queen split, long arm stitches are found in Amy's sampler, and a sawtooth border. This is DMC on 35 count, hand-dyed linen over 2 threads.
What year did you do this one?
I did this on June 2nd, 1989. It's number 62.
Wow.
And I just did it again because I am now selling samplers, and I do have a customer who likes houses and everything else. So.
Oh, wow.
In Long Island, she bought it.
And you don't find that tiresome to do one that you've already done?
No. Because I've done so many, I forget. If it weren't over my mantle in my fireplace, I wouldn't remember that I stitched it. Yeah.
There's the back. Cool.
Yeah. That tape is really good, though. It doesn't yellow and it doesn't crack like other tape. It has yellow, though. You can see it's different from the color that the, what was that one, the Mary Bailey's?
Yes.
Yeah. But it does a really good job.
Yeah. Another one that a lot of people were asking about. Let's see if I can get rid of glare somehow. Of course, it's got the light on it. It's very pretty with the pinks. Do you remember about this one?
We could put that in another place if you don't want all the window glare. Yeah, this is a Paragon kit. It was done in the 70s, late 70s. When we were living in Houston, my mother came down and we went to the Galleria downtown in Houston, and I found this sampler. So,
now, you had been telling me this was originally from a museum.
It's from the Cooper Hewitt Museum, but when you bought the kit, it didn't give you any history. And I did find it. I forget where I found it. Maybe it did tell me the Cooper Hewitt. But so I looked up Cooper Hewitt and got all the information on it. And I'll show you. It's on the back. Now this was all stamped, and it has a lot of the crewel type or the satin stitch at the bottom. Not as challenging as the Chase, but still still pretty challenging. It's got some this is mounted wrong. This is on cardboard.
Oh, this is the one I remember you said.
A lot of the early ones are, so it's got some staining due to the, you know, the cardboard it's from. But it is still pretty. Now let's take it off the wall and we'll see about the history. See what it says, because I think, yeah, see, when I found out what it was, I added this.
Oh, cool.
This is what it gave me in the beginning. Not a lot of information.
No.
But since 1980, I've been able to do some detective work and came up with the fact that this sampler is a stylized floral border on 3 sides. In the upper can't read my own writing.
Upper half maybe, or?
Oh, this is just as bad. Are 3 sets of alphabets. Here, we can turn it around now. In the upper something are 3 sets of stylized alphabet, a set of numerals separated by geometric and floral borders. In the center, 3 stylized flowers and an inscription. Mary Batchelor was born June the 13th, 1757. She wrought this sampler in 1773. While God does spare, for death prepare. This sampler is in the collection of the Cooper Hewitt Museum in New York.
Oh, that's nice to know.
A large 2-handled vase of flowers and centered on the lower third with a bird and insect on each side of flowers scattered in the foreground. I even found, if you go on the Cooper Hewitt website, you can ask for the, what did I say, what's her name?
I've forgotten.
Mary Batchelor. Batchelder. Batchelder.
Okay.
Whatever, but yeah, I did find, so I attached that to the back of my sampler.
Yeah, that was good idea.
And what they do is, you know, Paragon back in the 70s had permission to go into this museum, and the chase, they also did the chase from the Williamsburg collection in Williamsburg, Virginia, and they reproduced this sampler. I like to keep that with it.
Yeah, that's great. It's wonderful to have the information. There it is.
Someone was asking about the Lucy Red sampler, which is over here. I think it's this one. Is it?
Lucy Red.
I'm
Lucy Ann Red.
Yeah, right up here. Up here.
Yep.
A woman in California contacted me and she said she's just finishing this sampler and this is part of her family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this one's still available, you think?
I can't say.
Not sure.
I can't say. Let's see what it says. Just browns and blues, but it's pretty. Here, I'll let you take a picture of that.
Okay. The Lucy Red sampler. Did that one in 1987.
This is number 55.
There's another pretty one.
That's Porcupine Collection. I love her.
This one.
Yeah.
I'm looking at now.
She is bizarre. This oversized woman.
The Porcupine Collection was the mother-daughter you were talking
Mother-daughter.
about. Yeah, I like the big woman. She's powerful.
And that has the restoration glass on it, so it's really thick and wavy. We always now try to frame them with antique glass.
Yes.
But I'm running out of good antique glass.
Well, Bob said you had a little supply, but
I do.
you're running out.
Yeah, but this is Hannah Lancaster, stitched in 1989, number 61.
Cool.
English.
Have you seen a figure that large on any other samplers?
No, that's why it's so adorable. Yeah. It really is adorable that she is. We used to take that one to shows, and people would say, well, you know, to show people that at that time we were doing framing. for other people. Now it's an embarrassment because it'll take Bob a year to frame. So I hardly.
It's hardly an embarrassment.
Yeah, well, it is when people keep calling and say, "Did he do it? Did he do it?" I'm gonna get one in here because these are really cute, and there's not enough room for two of us.
Okay. I'll just look at some others while I'm here. There's Bob's clock.
Yeah. That one's over one thread.
Oh my, okay. Let's get up close on this. Oh boy. Jane Ballard's, 1799.
That's Porcupine Collection too.
Again, Porcupine Collection.
See, she did really, the mother-daughter did really big pieces.
Yeah, like she's quite a large shepherdess too.
She's adorable.
Yeah, and she's sweet, and I love the bottom.
Yeah. I have another one upstairs like that.
Looks like, oh yeah, I remember upstairs. You're better, it looks like Bargello or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't believe that's over one.
Mm-hmm. I think it's over one. We'll check it on the back.
Make it focus better.
Yeah, Porcupine Collection. This is probably from the DAR. Let's see. Huh? This is, that is, this one got torn. Yeah, it's Porcupine Collection in the late. Do you want me to hold it up?
No, you can just read it, or well, just.
What is it?
Late 18th century English piece. Something in the Worcester Museum.
Housed in the Worcester Art Museum of Worcester, Massachusetts. She was 10 years old.
Yeah. A very challenging sampler, and one of my favorites. Bob's first attempt at gold leafing the frame. What does it say at the end?
Let's see.
Much loved.
I do love her.
Yeah.
She's really cute.
She is really cute.
Oh, let's see. DMC on 25 count hand-dyed linen over one thread.
Yes, it is. There
A very challenging sampler and one of my favorites, Bob's first attempt at gold leaf. This one also is 14 by 19. It's number 54.
Huh.
But it is charming. I mean, it's just so cute.
Yeah. Stay like that. I'm going to take a still picture of you holding.
Because of the, and now look what's happening. Can you see this?
What is it?
It's a fog that's inside on the glass.
Is that from humidity? Or?
I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the dyes that are causing it. The favorite one in the den, where I had to add the piece of sampler linen to make the frame, I took that apart one time and you could see the whole sampler on inside the glass, the haze. This is what happens.
It makes like a halo effect or something.
It does.
I'm not really picking it up on camera.
But you can see it.
But I can kind of see it with my eyeball.
Yep. And the glass is away from the sampler, so it's not the moisture that's, coming from it.
Interesting to talk to a framer or somebody, see if they knew what caused that.
I even talked to women who do this. We did a show up in Wilton, Connecticut, and there was a woman one year came in with samplers. She had done them. They were an antique. And I was standing in her booth going like this, because you have to look at it a certain way in order to see it. And she had it on her glass too. And I said, I don't think she was aware of it. And I said, do you know what causes that? And she didn't know either. So I have no clue what causes it, but it certainly is there. And like I said, the one in the family room with that little brick house, I had to take it apart one year to put spacers in it, because at that time we didn't know that you had to keep it away. So that has pieces of rag board, spacers under it, but you could see the whole design of the sampler on the glass.
It's almost like it was etched in there.
Yes, but all you had to do was take a paper towel with Windex and it came right off.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, it is bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's another one in here that I want you to see, because this is fabulous too. Oh, I have it on the table already.
Look here.
This one over here. And that's done under, you can see the restoration glass on that.
Oh.
I think. No, maybe not. Maybe that's just my antique glass. This is Elizabeth Cross sampler.
That is so pretty, so colorful.
This has the small bead, the fillet, which I really love, and I can't get it anymore. So if somebody knows of where you can get small beaded fillet, whatever you want to call it, I'd be interested in.
Oh, is that added on?
Yes.
On top of the... So Bob makes the frame and then he finds this. And...
Yes.
Wow.
One of my friends in Texas did this, and I guess she did it on a bigger linen because we framed hers, and it was absolutely huge. So fortunately, when I went to stitch mine, I made sure that it wasn't quite as huge as hers.
Mm-hmm. Look at the ships up at the top.
Oh yeah, they are. Well, are they ships or flower pots? I think they're flower pots.
Oh, maybe they're flower pots. I thought it was ships.
And there again, what do you have? Something similar to a Moravian star, but not a Moravian star. Here's a crown, which would lead you to believe it might be English. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely Adam and Eve.
Yes. The snake.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
And their little pal Joey dog. This little doggy doesn't look like he has an eye.
Oh. I wonder if you forgot that, or
could be.
Could be. Huh?
Let's see what this one says. Oh, this is very dirty. The Elizabeth Cross Sampler from the Exemplary.
Okay.
Okay. This is the gal that back then she would pull the DMC, she would cut it in different lengths, and she would band all the blue bunch together, but she never told you what color it was.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This was from Canada?
Exactly. No. This gal was in the United States.
Okay.
She is EXAMPLARERY.
Okay.
And the other one is ESSAMPLAIRE.
Yeah, Sampler.
We're not going to touch this because it is dusty. Reproduction sampler worked by Elizabeth on July of 1827 when she was 11 years of age. The design includes all the delightful motifs such as the Tree of Life, Adam and Eve, birds, flowers, numerals, and a pious verse worked by Elizabeth. It's DMC on 36 count linen over 2 threads. So it's not too bad.
No.
It's kind of easy now.
No.
But I guess my friend... I don't know what count she used, but it was a really big sample. I do like this one. I think I like the small ball beading for one thing. I like the beading.
Looks very handsome in that.
Yeah, and I do like the black frame. Sometimes he'll just go and get molding, so I don't know whether he made this molding or whether we bought it.
Mm-hmm. And he just...
Yeah, we go to the Home Depot and pick stuff out, and...
He makes it into a frame.
Yeah, he makes it into a frame. He can do just about anything.
That's neat.
They do some kind of jewelry.
Oh, wow. These are just to show you some of the case.
This was a shorter arm than this. This has a longer arm.
Uh-huh. But they have the tube light right in there and then the magnification.
They're great.
And you can put them on a stand and roll them around.
Or you can click them on a table when my grandson comes and works on his models.
Uh-huh.
I have some of those screw-on clamps.
Uh-huh.
And you just put this part of the lamp in the hole and it's good to go.
I see a... bulb peeking out there. Don't have somebody sit down and squish it.
Okay. This is the light bulb. How about that?
Yeah.
You can buy them at Walmart. It's
can you really?
Fussy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was always worried, like, what would happen.
I know. I always kept a spare, but last time I went to Walmart and it was right there. I thought, well, I'll have to go to that bulbs place, but no.
Right, no, you can just get them. Right.
So when I see them, I buy them because, you know, they do break down over the years and you can send it back to Dazer or Dazer, whatever you want to call it, but they... For one thing, shipping would be inconvenient because of the shape of it. And another way, you know, you don't want to pay. So I suggest you look on eBay. If you're interested in this, I'll show you the adapter lens that actually hooks onto these 2 screws.
Oh, okay. I wonder how to fit on this.
Yeah, it's very easy to do.
Just for extra magnification.
Yeah, huge magnification. We'll even try to put a piece of linen underneath the lamp and see if you can get a shot of how big it is.
Okay, that would be fun.
Because people say, how can you work on this? Well, if I just wear my glasses, I cannot work. Believe me, I can't even do it when I go to shows anymore because I don't have a portable magnification that's good enough for me to see.
Right, and the lighting probably isn't ideal.
Right, the lighting is not ideal. But the lamps are, you know, some people work on those other lamps that you can buy at Michael's or AC Moore. I forget what they're called.
Hot lights.
Hot lights, yeah. But I'm just used to this. This way I can roll it over to the couch and I can extend it. I don't have to have a table near me or anything.
Right. That's nice.
And I do make my husband oil it because it used to screech every time.
Screech! She's stitching again.
Yeah, I always, yes. And he's probably asleep, so he doesn't hear me anyway. I don't know that none of these here are special for me.
They're just pretty.
Some of these I'll probably have to sell.
Oh.
Well,
People hate hearing you say that, Kay.
Well, you know what? I'm going to be limited as to how many rooms.
Yeah.
Like, this is one, I don't know.
There's one that you had that funny story last time about doing it for your
Oh,
daughter's
this
friend.
is it. And you can see that I did not pull it tight enough.
Oh.
You can look at that one if you want. This is a Quaker Sampler, which I think is really cute, and I've stitched it a number of times because it's for bride and groom.
It's a great present.
So when my niece got married, my nephew got married, I stitched it, and it's a Quaker Sampler, and the Quakers believe that when the couple is married, they plant a tree for the bride and a tree for the groom. And then I take out this alphabet or whatever this is and put their names in it.
Great idea.
And my daughter had a friend when she was young, and when Sharon got married, Susan asked me if I could stitch this sampler for her friend, so I did. Well, a number of years later, Sharon contacted me saying she divorced him. Could I redo the name on the sampler? So I did, and now Sharon has since divorced him.
No!
And just got married in Cape May last year. So
You're waiting for the
No,
call.
I'm not doing it again because I had to stitch it when it was mounted on the board.
Oh.
But I think it's cute that
It is cute.
the history that it's a Quaker Sampler.
Yes.
This is the gold mine.
We're coming up to... Which one?
Wow, this one, we looked at the shepherdess downstairs. This has the same base.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah. Really, this is, I forget what this is called. But it was from Scarlet Letter, I believe.
Again.
Yeah. Just a big, beautiful sampler with a lot of free stitches. I had trouble, drawing, this glass even feels, I had trouble drawing it on.
Uh-huh.
I did tell you before I used that pen that you write with and then you wet it, and you can still, if you do it over and over again like I did, you can still see it.
It doesn't come out all the way.
It doesn't come out. But I'm pretty sure that this is a Scarlet Letter, and I'm sure if we looked on Google, you might be able to find it. I know she wanted $250,000. Ooh.
Should it say, whoops?
Yeah, it is Scarlet Letter. It is. I did this in 2003, and it's number 85.
Rebecca Cullen.
Pretty.
Scarlet Letter.
My grandson wants this one.
Yeah. This is the one with the bird.
Yeah, he likes the bird. He's going to get a lot more, too.
Yeah.
And I said something to him the other day, something about would he want... I forget what I was asking him if he would want it, and he said, everything you do is wonderful.
Oh.
Yeah, it was so sweet. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
This is Sarah Rogers. I think.
That's a colorful one.
Isn't it cute?
Yeah, I'm not getting the light very nicely.
It's cute. That is older, too, because it has the small beading on it.
Oh, yeah.
False grained. Bob did false graining on it.
Yeah, I love his frames.
I do, too.
Sarah Rogers.
I saw that one on eBay, too.
I'm going to make you blush, but somebody commented, and I thought how true this is, that you and Bob are so appreciative of each other and each other's skills. It's lovely to see. You kind of just...
Oh, this is from the exemplary. But somebody has this one. EXAMPLARERY. This is the Rhode Island Historical Society, Providence, in Newport.
It's not focusing for some reason. There we go. Sarah Rogers.
This is from 1735. Oh, no, she was born in 1735.
Huh.
What is this? Worked in Newport during the first half of the 18th century. Sarah Rogers, born October 18th, 1735, died July 4th, 1811. She married a sailor from Boston.
That's interesting. You know that much about her.
Yeah, it's a cute sampler.
Yeah, very nice.
But I did just recently see it because you know what? I looked. My charts were always up in the attic. And if you look at it, there's a crow here and a crow there and a crow there. I thought there should be a crow here. And I thought, well, did I forget him? Well, when I saw the kit offered on eBay or whatever, there was no crow here.
Oh, good to know.
So I did not make a mistake. There was no crow.
Not like the dog's eyeball.
Right. You know, you think, okay, did I forget the crow?
Yeah.
What happened?
That's neat.
Yeah, it's cute. It's very pretty. It's got a lot of different colors.
So you think if you wanted to do this one, you'd have to look on eBay probably?
I would think, yeah, because the exemplary is no longer.
Yeah.
This one's really hard as anything. For one thing, this is from the exemplar.
Sampler.
Yes.
In Canada, the Sampler.
And I kind of think that this may have been her first attempt to do it because the chart was really awful. It was just pages and pages and pages.
Difficult to follow.
And then the color picture wasn't even good. So I finally called her or wrote to her and asked her if she had a good photograph of it. And that's what helped me through it. But I think it's a very gorgeous
piece.
Lots of different colors.
Yeah.
And the lady is so charming. And plus, see, here are peacocks.
Yeah.
So you have to wonder when we turn it over, we'll find out.
That looks like a big thistle, doesn't it?
Could be.
Sure looks like a thistle to me.
Did you see the thistle coming out at Artisan's Nest on the sidewalk?
No.
I'm hoping that it doesn't go much further.
Yeah, I do like thistles though.
Do you really?
Well, they're the national flower of Scotland.
Okay, so this is from a sampler, and it is available.
Okay. There's how you spell it. ESSAMPLAIRE in Canada. So she's still in business, we know for sure.
Yes.
And you can order things from her.
Yeah. It's 40 count. And then I did real gold leaf, 23 karat gold leaf on this.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah, but the chart is not very good.
Okay, good to know.
It is challenging.
I will not be attempting it anytime soon, Kay.
Yeah, the one I'm working with now has pages and pages too. I like it when it's one big chart so I can take it and copy, different sections
and then,
of it.
Now, do you highlight things as you go?
No, not necessarily. Sometimes I do if it's really, close and detailed.
Confusing.
This is why I make mistakes. Because I don't want to mess up my charts. And this one that I'm working on, I didn't copy the 8.5 by 11 sheets. I should have, because then I could have highlighted.
Yeah.
And then the other one is simple, but I chose that one because it was the same size as the first one.
Yeah, they look nice together.
Yeah, I don't know who that's from. I kind of think it might be Scarlet Letter.
Sorry to make you reach for all these things.
It's not real hard, is it? It has a nice piece of glass that has a divot in it right there.
Oh, wow.
Very pretty. Do you want me to hold it? Is that easier for
That's good. And then I don't get a glare.
Looks like a secret garden type thing.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Little garden gate.
It's cute.
Mm-hmm.
But I did choose this because it was the same size. These hang above my bed, and I wanted to approximately the same size. So, this is, Antique Needlework Quarterly. I used to get that. Did you ever hear of that magazine? It was lovely.
No, it's not around anymore?
No. Oh. They did a lot of sewing thimbles and sewing birds. Oh. And then they would put a chart. They would have 2 or 3 charts in their needlework books. Uh-huh. It was, I think it came quarterly. That's why it's called that. Mm-hmm. Nice. Wonderful piece of old glass.
Yeah, I love the notes that you put in the box. And that was number 80? 90?
90. 2009.
Wow.
Oh, really?
What are you working on now?
I don't know.
100 and something. But did you count in the count the ones that you gave away or sold or something? Are they...
No, they're not in my count.
Okay.
Yeah, Scarlet Letter did this one. She did it on top. One of the magazines, I don't know whether it was the Needlework Quarterly or what. Uh-huh. But she did it on green linen. Well, I didn't like it on green linen. And the chart was in the magazine, right. I think she offers this now, but I'm not sure. Now, since you can't get her website, we won't know.
Yeah, we tried today to go to the
Scarlet-letter.com.
Scarlet Letter website, and we couldn't get on for some reason. Yeah. And Kay said she was on it a week or so ago, so we don't know what's going on.
So I had to, I did it on the tan linen. Yeah, my cleaning woman knocked this down and slammed it into the heater thing. So
oh dear.
The front of the heater thing This is cute. I just like this. I think it's really fun.
Yes.
I like the sawtooth border.
Yes, that's nice.
You know, when I was a little girl, my sister and I had what we called jelly bean dresses, and it had all this rick-rack type stuff on it.
That's really pretty.
It is pretty.
It's simple and pretty.
Yeah. I'm starting to appreciate more the writing. There's one downstairs that I want to do that the top, almost 3/4 of it is writing.
Oh.
And that's hard to do because it's so boring.
Oh.
This is Chloe Jenkins, and it is Scarlet Letter.
Uh-huh.
Chloe's such a cute name, too.
Yeah.
This was, for some reason, 35 count over 1 and 2 threads, number 66. I did this in 1991.
Oh, cool. It's funny because I don't think of Chloe as being an old-fashioned name, but maybe it is.
Yeah. What was it? It dates to 1802.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do those later.
How about this little one? It's catching my eye.
Oh, isn't that cute?
Yes.
That's a sampler.
The sampler.
Yes.
From Canada.
Yeah, that too. You can tell I like sawtooth borders.
Yeah. Are her charts easier to read now that she's more advanced?
Her charts are wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good. She's getting tired of doing these.
Uh-oh.
She likes painting now.
Oh dear. That's a problem when people are artistic. They have too many interests.
It's not selling as much, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what I do isn't either. So, but I think she is doing something with Winterthur or Williamsburg again.
Oh, good.
She's a lovely lady.
That's neat.
Yeah. You've got little, what do they call these? Little horns of cornucopias.
Yeah.
With the flowers. This has a lot of the queen stitch in it. These, you know, this is a lot of work in here because everything that you see is cute little queen stitch pieces.
Oh boy. How close can I get to show the... Neat.
Yeah, it's fun.
Beautiful.
Little pink house.
Yeah.
Some of it really. This is the one that I thought, I was so eager to get the chart, and I thought, well, I'm going to come upstairs and make sure this is the one she's selling now, just the chart.
Okay.
I think she sold me just the chart too, but again, sawtooth border.
Mm-hmm.
This was quite challenging.
Very interesting floral stuff at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mostly a crewel type pattern, isn't it? What you would see on a bed hanging or something back in the 1800s. But this one, of course, this is all eyelet stitch up here. Mm-hmm. But then, and so there's not a lot of cross stitch or anything. But when you get down here, this is a sampler. Mm-hmm. When you get down here, she gives you a piece of paper that will fit the bottom of the sampler, and you need a light box. So you put the piece of paper on top of the light box. Then you take the piece of linen and you draw it on the linen.
As best you can.
So I used an archival extra fine point pen and drew the design. So it's extremely challenging.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if you use the pen, it's permanent. It will not come off. But evidently I covered everything. So this was done in, this one I can't take off because it's because of the door I have a double-sided tape so it doesn't bang. This was done in 2012. But it is very pretty. Yeah. I like the color of the linen too. Yeah.
So you're gonna do? You have hand dyed some linen in the past.
No, I think that was the kit. I think I was wrong. I think that was the kit.
Sometimes they said hand dyed linen.
I do. I tried my own too. I keep little bags of Rit dye and I'll mix them. The one I'm working on now, I just tea dyed. I'm tempted. We don't drink coffee, or I would have tried coffee, but I can get some from my daughter. I want to try see if soy sauce would do it. I also tried to look up natural dyes online. But then I don't know how to go about with natural dyes because there are tricks of the trade, I would imagine. These are tiny little alphabets that, this was a little sampler magazine or chart that had these different alphabets. So when my husband was working, I would monogram his Oxford cloth shirts on the pocket.
That's nice.
Yeah. The E has 32 cross stitches in it. It was awful. But he did like those, so
I like the little fracture bird too.
Debbie Jarrett does that.
Oh, is that Debbie Jarrett again?
Well, when we were in Early American Life magazine, I said, Debbie, do you have some things you want to put in my house? And they might photograph it. So she gave me the little bird in thanking her.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because she did get a couple orders.
Yeah.
This again, this is Scottish. We looked at this last time.
Yeah, with the filigree letters.
Yeah. That again, I can't take off because it's adhered to the door. Now I love these.
All right.
That one is one of my favorites. I love the colors on that. Do you need light?
I think it's capturing it, I think, pretty well. You could try putting it on. I think that's pretty accurate.
That one is Philadelphia. 5th Street in Philadelphia.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cute?
Now, where'd you get this one?
That's a sampler. A lot of these upstairs are.
Uh-huh.
I love the colors. I love that turquoise vase in the middle, along with the false graining on the sampler.
Uh-huh.
It's just really pretty.
Toria Dellacroix.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm. South Street, Philadelphia. South 5th Street.
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Oh, probably there was they traveled all around though, these what did they call them? The headmistress that would take her sampler charts to
different girls. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Victoria Dellacroix, though, it sounds kind of French, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then the one across it is also a sampler. We did that last time. It has the metal sequins on it.
Oh, yes.
It's too pale. You know.
Oh, it's very pretty. It's soft.
Yeah, it's very soft and pale.
But it's not your usual, you like them a little stronger colored.
Yeah. Actually, I went over some of the colors with a heavier pink just to give it more
oomph.
Yeah, because it is very, very pale.
Uh-huh.
These were all kits, I'm sure.
Yeah, very pretty. Wow. Sophia Alexander, her bolt cloth.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
We talked about the bolt.
Yeah.
How they would initial the fabric or the textile when they got it. Because, they didn't always have it.
Right.
I don't even know the date on that. We could take that one off the wall, actually.
Let's see if I can see it. It says 2014. Look at your tiny little stitches.
That's
2014.
I use the alphabet, the same alphabet. You want me to take this one down?
No, don't pull it up.
Thumbs down.
It's lovely, though. And there's that beading.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows where you can get that beading.
This is the large beading. This one I can get. It's the tiny little one.
It's smaller than this.
Yeah.
Kay and Bob are on the on the hunt for that.
We've been dealing with the same company for I don't know how many years, but it's changed names 3 times.
Oh dear.
Used to be a custom chalk block or something like that. Now I don't even know what it is.
Uh-huh.
Fortunately, they have the same telephone number. So.
Oh good. You can track them down.
Yeah. I liked a little bit of pizzazz. This beading over here is quite different. This filet is different. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
But I felt that it picked up this little zigzag thing up here. I thought it kind of would go with that.
Yeah.
It's kind of subtle. It's not as vibrant as the other ones. You can tell that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Worth the money for sure.
Yeah. I like those Philadelphia too. It's fun. Our local stitcher, Miss Dellacroix.
Yeah. Pretty.
Victorian. D.H. Mundell's Seminary. Huh.
A woman's seminary school, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I've got the one downstairs that I charted that was from Linden Hall in Lidditz.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think I told you.
Lidditz is in Pennsylvania out towards Lancaster for people.
Very, what is it? Quaker or Moravian little town. What was I going to say? When we were first buying our first house, I wanted a wallpaper, and it was called the Fisk House wallpaper.
Oh.
And it was a basket of flowers.
So this is Sturbridge, Massachusetts.
This is Sturbridge, Massachusetts, yeah. And she and her sister did this, Sally Fisk and her sister. I think her sister did one and she did the other, but they're very similar.
Uh-huh.
I kind of think, this is a cute little berry or whatever it is. This is framed incorrectly. This is before we were doing it the right way. It's up against the glass.
So someday you should probably pop this apart.
So this one used to be over my toilet in the master bath, and I could sit there and I could see the haze.
Oh.
And I can see the haze around some of the letters. That one will probably, if I ever do take it off, it will probably have the whole haze of the sampler on the glass.
I've seen the bright azure of morn.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
It's still kind, it's still kind, and I like the chalkboard. This would be like the way they did their chalkboards back
Oh,
then.
neat.
Yeah.
Another one of Bob's frames, huh?
Let's see how dirty this one is on the back.
Not bad.
Not bad. Number 38. It's pretty early.
Oh, wow, that's an early one.
Yeah. 1984.
Again, Scarlet Letter. Old Sturbridge Village.
With writing that you can actually read.
Yeah, I can read that.
I think the rectangle is Scarlet Letter.
This one next to it.
Yeah.
We better find out what's going on with Scarlet Letter.
I know.
That's neat.
I'm going to look her up.
I like the little couple and their little frolicking sheep.
Yeah, I put that one for sale too. When we have a show, I take it. I'm not sure who. There were two that confused me. There was another red one in here. What does this one say?
Anne Raymer, number 2.
Threads Through Time. Okay.
Is that another company that you...
Yeah, she's like, she carries different people's samplers. It's like a sampler shop.
Okay, like the one I mentioned before.
Right. I think that's... This is English.
Yorkshire.
35 count natural linen, ever 1 and 2. 1999, number 76.
Wow. Amazing.
Different little zigzag thing we have here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
15 1/4 by 14 1/2.
Nice. Yeah, this looks like regular stock. He didn't go to too much. This probably is not one of my favorites. That's why he didn't frame it. Some really good stuff. And then, like I said, that one is over the mantle only. That's Sarah's Garden. That's Quaker.
Oh, I like that one. The plainness.
Yeah, it is very simplistic.
I like it. Like sort of soft blues and grays.
But mine is much smaller, so I'll take that one to shows too. I like the natural linen.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I haven't worked on it too much anymore.
You've been going to lighter linen recently?
Yeah.
But you don't have a preference? You like the look of the dark?
I like to mix it. I take the colors of the thread and then see what's going to look good
right.
with it.
In Flosstube terminology, that's called a floss toss.
Oh, really?
Yes. Where you put the linen that you think you're going to use and you pick the colors out of your threads and you toss them on there and you see how that looks. Floss toss.
I'll be darned. That one needs to go in the trash. So we won't go into that.
She doesn't like that one.
No. When I stitch another one.
Well, beggars can't be choosers here, Kay.
That's Bob's bathroom, so.
Oh, he gets the one you don't like.
There aren't too many in here. I mean, we've already done that one.
Yeah, we did.
We do Scottish. Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. That's old too.
One of the earlier ones you did?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Look at all the different colors in the alphabet.
Yeah.
I won't do that now.
No. You shy away from the...
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, look, this is even hung. See, this gives you no history. The Jane Harris Sampler, BJB. This was early. This is done in 1984. I remember the graph that went with this. It was done, the chart was actually on yellow paper.
Oh, wow.
And it was big. But there were a couple bunches of charts there. BJB graphs, she used to call herself. DMC on 35 count linen over 2 threads. Number 30. So yeah.
That is one of your earlier ones. And what was the year on that you did
This was 1984.
Okay.
And we had a green frame on this. It was painted green first, and I decided I didn't like the green, so I repainted it black.
That looks nice.
Yeah. I think that's just about the end of them, don't you? I'll show you downstairs the two or three that aren't framed.
Okay.
You can see how wrinkled they are.
Okay. And then as she said, she doesn't iron them. She just stretches them. The one that silk threads that Kay says is Lindenhall in Lidditz, Pennsylvania.
I think we went into detail on that last time.
Yeah, we did.
How?
Is that the only one you've done in silk?
Yes. Yeah.
And you've never looked back. I'm going to try some silk just for fun.
Back. Nope.
Just to see what I feel about it.
Doesn't look any different.
Oh, now what's the basket, Kay?
This is things that I want to do and things that have been done. You can go in the living room either. I'll show you that stuff too. These are some of the things. I think I got this at the Strawberry Sampler.
Oh, what's this one? Oh, Esther Edison. I've seen people on, I have seen people doing this one.
Oh, really?
On the internet.
Oh.
Or they've been talking about it. That's lovely.
Look kind of cute.
Yeah.
I went down there with a list, and this one is a sampler. Want to do that.
Elizabeth Bechtel. I've heard people talk about that one.
This is another one that she would sell the chart. The sampler. Oh, and look, I do have one like you're doing.
Janet Maregrave. That's an interesting one. I like the birds in that. Which one?
The Scarlet House.
Oh, yeah.
I think they had to send me this one because they didn't have it. It's amazing how expensive the charts are, just the charts.
Right. I guess a lot of work goes into it. Yeah, oh, that's pretty. And again, the dark linen.
Yeah, so I'll stitch this on the natural linen. See whether I can get it to look good. The sampler, and I don't know.
What's that one called?
Betsy Longley. I don't know why I have these.
Oh.
I don't know whether I have no idea. I don't remember.
DMC on the big cards. Do you think you kitted this one up a long time ago?
That doesn't, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to, I don't know.
So these are ones you're intending to do soon. Sooner rather than later,
Well, I did this one once, and it's very big.
Ooh.
We framed it, and
What's
I gave
that one
it.
called?
This is, I don't know, it's Scottish. Elizabeth Ramsey. I stitched this for the people that we stayed with in Leesburg, Virginia.
Oh, that's nice. That's kind of a nice gift.
I know. I thought, well, I'm never going to have to give you another gift.
I can come stay with you many times now.
It's a very big sampler. I had a picture of it. We did it with a black frame with the square things on the corner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she hung it downstairs in her Williamsburg area. Matter of fact, now they have a house in Williamsburg. So she has one in Leesburg and one there. I thought this was kind of cute.
Oh, yes. Elizabeth Harding, 1791. Now, this is Hands Across the Sea. This is the
really?
people I was talking about.
Oh, see, I don't pay any attention.
Kay didn't pay attention.
This is another one that's kind of abrupt. I'm not sure I like that.
Oh, yeah. This is the one that's very straightforward, you were saying. Oh, when you run out of other things to do.
Yeah, like I will.
Would you ever change the color of the house?
Yes, I would change the color of the house on
and then
that
you
one.
might like it better.
Right. I think you're right, because I don't like the color of the house. This, again, is the sampler, which I'll probably never do. I don't appreciate it any longer. Here's a... This might be the rag foam core.
Oh, okay. So this is what you buy when you go up to Dick Blick.
Yeah. So it's very rigid. You know, will take a lot of pulling.
And you said you pull them really tight.
I do pull them really tight.
And Kay says she puts the pins in, and then she puts a piece of that tape just around the edge and the back, and folds it over a tiny bit in the front.
Yeah.
And then she, apparently that tape is very forgiving and
yes,
can be repositioned.
This is very intricate. It has 40-some colors in it.
Sheep may safely graze. Good Lord. Now who is this? Victorian Rose Needle Arts. 2018. Wow. That is intense, Kay.
I know.
You've put off starting this one, have you?
I just got it.
Oh, you just
not long ago, but I have quite a few kits in here, or charts in here that I want to do. Then we'll go in the living room and I'll show you the other charts that I'm not as crazy about. Isn't that terrible? I need a bigger basket.
Yes, you do.
Here are some of the samplers that I did finish. I think we were...
Oh, is this the greeny yellow one?
Yes.
You were working on the first time we came.
Yeah. This is the green and yellow.
Oh, that's nice. It turned out really nice.
It's okay.
Well, I think
I like the checkered house.
Yeah, I like that, and it's vibrant down here.
It is.
Like, it's not just green, yellow, green, yellow. It's like, it's got action. I like the birds, too.
I'm not crazy about the birds.
Well, I think they're kind of different. I mean, I haven't seen
very
any
big.
that are yellow like that. Is this a cat over here?
Yes.
That's a big cat. That's
See, my grandson will probably want this because they're cat people.
Yeah.
Now. They don't like their...
And what's this one?
This is a brown one. Very big.
So even with all this here, you won't even iron the edge. You'll just pull it tight.
No, never. That's probably my sister.
And I take it you never wash them either.
Nope. Well, I'm always afraid because I never really understood whether DMC is color fast or what.
Right, and why? Unless you've had dirt on your hands or something, why, you know.
Why? Why? And
as long as you wash your hands before you stitch or whatever. That's what they say.
That was... Did I show you that one last time?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, how intense that was, that middle work.
Wow.
I mean, if you're off one thread, it would throw the whole design off.
Oh, I bet. Look at those pots of flowers.
Yeah. I had a couple, a husband and a wife, and I think one of the mothers was with them, and they came back a second time. And at that time, I had the chase, and I think I had the pink one. I had the pink one also for sale. And I thought, this is the one they chose. It wasn't really my favorite. But
surprised you that they picked this one.
Yes, you know, because I guess I liked it because of the challenge of it. Mm-hmm. But it's not one that, you know, I would
just visually just to look at.
It's not my cup of tea. But it's gone, and I didn't even photograph it. I made the mistake of not photographing
mostly
it.
Even the ones you've sold, you photographed.
Yes. But that one I didn't. This one I have framed. I finished that one. That one is in a box someplace waiting to go to a show.
That's fun.
Somebody said they liked, I guess, the dog. They liked
yeah, look at the guy playing with his dog. That's nice. Traveling stitcher.
Uh-oh.
You lost some threads.
But there again, you know, I just bought the chart and then I'll pull all the threads. Well, this one had the different kind of threads, right? So I had to find out how to use the DMC instead of the threads that they were telling you.
Oh, you had to do a conversion.
Yes, which they give you what? Dinky dyes, Matilda, Gloria's birch brown. How do you know what they are?
Right.
They're naming their old.
You have to go to a needlework shop and...
You can do it online.
Can you?
Yeah, there's conversions online for it. You tell them what threads they're talking about, and then you ask for a conversion to DMC.
Okay.
Now I think we should go in the living room.
Okay. I haven't been filming. Here is 55 count linen under Kay's lamp. For my naked eye, that is really good magnification. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's coming off as well, but we've got 55 count linen, and it looks like I could do that.
Mm-hmm. If our needle is small enough not
to
obstruct the linen
And
thread.
here's the lamp itself, for people who are wondering.
We could turn this off, too.
And here is the adapter.
That's how it goes
that clips on the bottom to make it even more magnification. And here's the tricky rolling base.
I love the rolling base.
Yeah.
We still trip over it, though, because we're not used to having it.
Well,
I wanted to see the one.
Liability.
Is this the one I'm working on? I can't.
Currently working on. Wait a minute. Kay's going to show us the one she's currently working on.
Which is 46 count, so we'll put this under. If you look at it with just your naked eye.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll put it under the dazer and show you what it is.
All right, here comes Kay's current project under the dazer. There it is.
Big. Right?
I hope that shows up. Yes, I think it does. If my camera will focus properly. Yeah, it does. That's lovely. I think I could do that.
Yeah.
And what count was that linen?
This is 46.
46.
Mm-hmm.
That just shows you.
Mm-hmm. And you know you can
See.
extend this whatever way you need.
It's very pretty.
This is the red one now. I did yellow and green. Now I'm doing red and pink and olive.
I like it.
I'm making lots of mistakes too.
Okay.
But that's okay.
I'm kind of busy now.
Yeah.
And one like this where they're just kind of placed, it probably doesn't matter if they're not exactly where they're meant to be. As long as you get the border to
And
match.
see, I'll do the top first and then I work over here. And then I came down only to do this pot of flowers. Now there's going to be a house here, so I'm always eager to get to the house.
Yeah.
That's my...
Is the house usually centered, but this one it isn't? Or
None of this is really centered. That's a kind of annoying. A little bit annoying anyway. But as you see, the writing looks like it might be centered. But
here's a little chair. Someone was just asking about that. Like the different motifs, it was sort of unusual to see a chair.
Let's see if I can find the chart. Yeah, I don't even know what this is, to tell you the truth.
I interviewed Carolyn DeLong, who owns Just Cross Stitch Shop in Limerick.
Oh, did you?
And she was showing me the very first thing she ever did. She'd gone up to the Gottenhofen Museum and just copied some motifs. And one of them was a little chair, and one of them was a little bed. And she said that was like a Pennsylvania Dutch sampler. I don't know what this one is.
Stacy Nash.
Oh, Stacy Nash. Mm-hmm. I told you I do some Stacy Nash, but not these complex.
I had to transfer that into DMC because she used Weeks Dye Works threads.
I don't know how you say that sampler. The house is semi-centered. I like it.
This looks more centered than what my berries look on that.
Oops. No, I'm just kidding.
Could be the graph too. Maybe she didn't do the graph.
Yeah.
You know, if I were charting these, I'd make it a little different than the original too. If I did,
yeah.
You know.
Would you ever
Never.
wanted to?
Never.
You're happy to do other people's.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm happy to use the colors they tell me and everything else.
Okay.
Now, when you get to that part, it's off centered with a little chair.
Yeah, I love that little chair. Fun.
Whatever.
Fun.
This has some of the old collection. These people are no longer in business anymore.
Oh, wow.
But this is, you'd have to, these were some of the
charts.
charts.
Oh, neat.
She's the one that would just give you a wad of, this is this Laura Standish. This is the one I'm trying to sell, that kit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I kept some of the things. And then Scarlet Letter used to put out a little booklet.
Oh, how nice.
And she would update it. This is catalog number 8.
You would drool over these catalogs when they came?
Right, I would.
Wow.
See, I never got that one. That has 2 houses.
Oh.
This is the chase. Look, she's got the chase in here.
Oh.
It says a stamp design from Colonial Williamsburg adapted from Mary Starker's sampler.
Interesting.
So that's my little archive down here.
That's nice. A peek. Here's a little box that Bob forgot to show us, but look at this. It's very cute.
A candle box it would have been.
Yeah, store your candles, keep them away from the mice.
He might even have the picture. Yeah. That's the original.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Pretty close.
Yep. He's amazing.
He really is. Circa 1820. We always keep pictures.
You could keep
I guess this is what he just copied. Color picture.
So you know what the original was like. Cool.
Oh, my plants need water. Shame on me.
Well, Kay, thank you so very much.
It's been fun.
I hope it was fun for you.
It's been a lot of fun.
Now you got a lot of work to do putting back all the pictures I
have to straighten my basket too. The basket is looking pretty poor
right now. The basket was fun to dive in. I'm glad you showed that. And I know everybody's going to want to ask you more questions.
That's okay.
And express their appreciation to you because this is really a joy.
I enjoy doing it. I like to share.
Well, that's so nice.
I really do like to share.
All right. Well, happy Easter, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. You too.
So until next week, I hope you all have a wonderful time with your families this weekend. I hope you get lots of stitching done, and I wish all good things. Bye.